thunderstorm late and a low of 72 to 75. Friday will be mostly cloudy with a thunderstorm, high 82 to 88. And more clouds and sunshine Saturday, few showers in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Veterans News is brought to you by Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. When it comes to landscaping, Bob Wines has what you need, everything from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and so much more. Bob Wines will even deliver, plant, and guarantee their trees. Bob Wines Community Garden and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952. Also, Bob Wines offers discounts of 10% to all veterans. So give them a call, 352-629-5766. Also, Veterans News is brought to you by Hires Baxley Funeral Services and Highland Memorial Park. Hires Baxley has had generations of families honor them with their trust and confidence. They believe it's because for the last 128 years, their team of caring professionals have established a reputation of serving families with excellence and compassion. Hires Baxley currently partners with the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 72, to properly dispose of decommissioned American flags. They are also a drop-off location for the program cell phones for soldiers, helping to provide minutes that matters and helping heroes home. Hires Baxley is located at 910 East Silver Springs Boulevard here in Ocala, or you can call them with any questions you have at 352-629-7171, or you can also go to hires-baxley.com. That's helping them. The ocean, white with gold. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her.
We'll talk about a couple of other things that concern us.
Yeah, starting with the fire administration, we have Chief Douglas Dugan of the Tiltonsville Fire Department in Tiltonsville, Ohio. His end of watch was June 16th. And I just want to point out, he was a volunteer firefighter who lost his life. And then we go to law enforcement. We have Police Officer Gordon Beasley of the Arvada Police Department in Colorado. His end of watch was June 21st. He was shot and killed responding to a suspicious event. And we have Police Officer Joseph Burson of the Holly Springs Police Department in Georgia. His end of watch was June 16th. He succumbed to injuries while he was dragged by a vehicle during a traffic stop. And we have Sergeant Ernesto Garcia Torres of the Puerto Rico Police Department in Puerto Rico. His end of watch was June the 10th. He was shot and killed during a traffic stop. And we do have some military casualties today also. The Department of Defense identifies First Sergeant Casey J. Hart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who died at Walter Reed Medical Center, but his injuries were sustained in Syria. And the Department of Defense also identifies Specialist Joshua S. Robinson of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was killed in an incident in Kuwait. And Hank, I think you have
one, well, kind of an unusual one. Another one of these Marines who was killed during Pearl Harbor. They had him listed as missing in action for the last 80 years. Amazingly, because of DNA, they were able to identify the remains and return this Marine to San Diego for full military honors. His name was John PFC, Marine Corps, John Franklin Middleswat, and he had full honors at the San Diego National Cemetery after all these years, and the family just was amazed that happened and had some closure to the family's tragedy. I think that's the last of our casualties. Let's go ahead and do Amazing Grace for us, and we'll come back and talk about a couple of things.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Hey, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it as usual. Always, again, we're going to get into a couple of things this morning. We all know that there was a police officer shot in the head in Daytona Beach last night. He's in critical condition. Hopefully we're all praying for him and he makes it through. But again, it's just kind of the thing. We read this every week about police officers and first responders getting shot, just doing the job we ask them to do. We sort of take it, we mention it, we talk about it, but, it continues to happen. It continues to happen because I think we've headed down the wrong path in this country. We're glamorizing and forgiving criminals and turning them loose. Turns out that the guy who shot this police officer in Daytona has a long, long criminal history of violence, and there he is on the streets. Question is, what was he doing on the streets to begin with? He should have been behind bars and never should see the light of day again. But here he is, and now we got a police officer fighting for his life. And this happens every single day in this country, not just with police officers, with innocent people going about their daily lives, being criminalized and victimized by people who have no business walking the streets of this country.
A 26-year-old, just started, he's only been on the force 3 years. He's 26 years old. He's in the hospital fighting for his life. He was inside an apartment complex. The shooting happened. The suspect is believed to be Othal Wallace, 29. It's been a $100,000 reward offered for information leading to his arrest. So if you see a gray Honda, 2006 Honda HR-V bearing California license plate 7TNX532, he's armed and dangerous, so call the Daytona Police Department immediately. But just like you said, another senseless shooting of a police officer that was pulled over a suspicious vehicle, just doing his job.
This is happening every day. I told you, I mentioned statistics a couple of weeks ago, like 40-something police officers already murdered in this country, already this year, and that was, I'm sure it's well above that now. We just read off 3 or 4 names, again, doing their jobs, trying to protect us out there, and it continues. And then you get idiots, in the White House, and I will tell you that he is an idiot, in my opinion. Continuing to talk about reducing crime by, get to the point. The point is you got criminals on the street that think they can get away with anything and do get away with everything because of very lenient laws, in the interest of thinking they're doing a favor to everybody. They're endangering everybody. They're endangering police officers. They're endangering people who live in those communities. They're endangering us by turning these people loose. And it's got to stop. Somewhere along the line it's got to stop. I read an interesting article by a defector from North Korea. And her name is, I won't try to pronounce her first name, last name is Park. She went to Columbia University and just left. She said, I got so dismayed for the cost of education because it amounted to a little bit more than indoctrination and brainwashing, and about the liberal policies that they were trying to convince her they were right. And she talks about people don't know what oppression is. I come from North Korea. I know what oppression is and what it looks like when no one in this country is being oppressed. And then she says, one of her statements is, I think it's what we talked about this morning. She reserved her most pointed criticism for the WOCA crowd and says, because I was oppressed, I know what oppression looks like. And we're living in a country where anything goes now. She says, there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no morality, you can do what you want to do. And she says, this is nuts. She says, this is crazy. It's worse than Korea. And, she's dismayed. She says, I just don't know where this country is going. And I think that's true of a lot of us.
The problem,
that's why gun sales are up.
Yeah.
5 million people bought guns last year that never owned a gun in their life.
The problem with the lady from North Korea is the people that she's trying to reach are going to say, yeah, you lived in North Korea. You don't know anything about the oppression we've dealt with here in America. You're a foreigner. You don't understand what we go through, because they don't understand what she's been through in North Korea.
Well, I think she understands when people are wacky.
Yeah.
And, some of the laws that some of this left-wing crowd has pushed, and what they're trying to do is basically to destroy the country. But in destroying the country, there's going to be a lot of casualties along the way, and they're creating them. They're responsible for the attitude that you can go out and shoot a police officer with very little consequences. I mean, that's the attitude that prevails, or shoot a store clerk, or shoot you because you happen to be at an ATM machine and they want your money. And, a slap on the wrist, a little time behind bars, probably overnight, and then turn you loose the next day so you can do it again. And that's what's happening in this country. We're fortunate to live here in Ocala in Florida. How would you like to live in Chicago or New York or L.A.? It's a war zone where we're permitting these people to go out and murder at will, shoot little children, 2 and 3 and 4 years old. They're casualties. And we just kind of go, well, those things happen. Well, they shouldn't be happening. And we need to wake up and get some of those people who are enacting those laws out of office and put people back in who do truly believe in law and order.
Hank, I just said, Gary, real quick, I just said in the last segment before you guys came on, 5,300 New York City police officers either put in their retirement or resigned, over 150 in Chicago, 120 in L.A., and 105 in Portland, where they burnt down a federal building and a police station. All have quit in the last year for exactly the reasons you're talking about.
Yeah, and who's going to replace them? First of all, no one who really is volunteering for the job. And then, if anything, probably the standards for police officers would be lowered just to get some bodies in there. And then what are they going to do? I wonder, I have to wonder last night if this police officer hesitated in doing his job the way he should have and let his guard down because he was concerned about perhaps being criticized by acting too aggressively towards that suspect he had stopped. You wonder, did he pause? Did he think? Because I've had police officers tell me that they're a little bit more cautious. They're a little bit more in terms of not acting aggressively and not acting and letting their guard down because they're afraid of someone's got a camera that will shoot shoot them doing something that will be interpreted as inappropriate, and then they get careless. And I hope that didn't happen last night. But in either case, what we know happened is we had a known criminal who had a long history roaming the streets of Daytona Beach, and the end result is a police officer fighting for his life.
We got to take a break, fellas. We got to take a break.
Thanks.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Dad's service to our country is something we're so proud of. He made a difference and set a great example. Now it's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family in this country. As veteran specialists, Hires Baxley Funeral Service helps us celebrate Dad's life and can help you too. Hires Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hiresbaxley.com/choice.
Summertime is tree time in Florida, no doubt about it. New trees thrive in warm, wet weather, and you love it for the generous shade and beauty they provide. Time to come check out the great tree deals at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. You can buy a large tree 4 to 6 feet at Bob's super low price and get a second tree just like it for half price. And that's the same all the way up to the gigantic jumbos that are one price, delivered, planted, and guaranteed. And you buy one and get one at half price. Also this week they're featuring Easy Care, Knockout, and Drift Roses. Buy one, get one free. And of course, Ocala's lowest prices on the greatest selection of crepe myrtles, starting at just $6.99. Fantastic deals inside the greenhouse, too, at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Nursery, Garden Center, and Landscaping. Now open daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala for almost 70 years.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
And now back up to Vets Helping Vets. Hank and Gary on Vet News.
Hey, let's run more parties. I really want to thank everybody else in the family that was burnt out of their home a couple of weeks ago. The Ferguson family, they did a newspaper article. We're sort of the pass-through organization for donations. So if you make a donation to Vets Helping Vets in the Ferguson's name, those donations will be tax deductible. We'll send you the appropriate letter and all of that. They're doing better. We're a lot of folks, all those folks out there in Fort McCoy have really chipped in. Let me thank a couple of people specifically. Clay Electric, real helpful. Carl Zalek, one of our county commissioners, is getting involved. And just a lot of good people who have really jumped in with both feet to help that family out. We're trying to help them as much as we can. If you want to make a donation, certainly make it out to Vets Helping Vets and send it to us at 2730 East Silver Springs Boulevard, and just put it on the bottom of the check, for the Ferguson family. 10 children, long way to go. I haven't seen the insurance settlement yet, but they got a long way to go before they get back into that home. Right now they're living through the generosity of somebody in a nice home temporarily, but eventually they're going to try to get back in there. That's going to take some doing. They got a long road ahead. Second thing is we are already planning our November get-together, which is our big fundraiser and celebration of veterans, November the 19th. If you're interested in participating, getting involved, it's going to be a military theme this year. You call Ms. Diaz at 286-9491. 286-9491. I had a mental block there. You don't know what happened this week, Tom. I got hit in the head last week by Ms. Diaz. Yeah, I'm standing by the back of her SUV, right? And loading some stuff in there, and I don't remember what I had in my hand. And she decided to lower the tailgate. Okay, so I had 9 stitches later. So, so I'm, a little brain damaged. People say I was brain damaged anyway, but Don't get in the back of these SUVs with these automatic, deployments of the tailgate, because it will do a job on you. Okay,
Yeah.
Gary, what we got, buddy?
Well, one thing before we get into some of the things we got going on, just real quick. When Hank handed me those police officers today, they were literally, he used the word murdered, and that's what exactly happened. Now, I watch the nightly news, ABC, is every night, faithfully. I had not heard one of those police officers' names, and I guarantee if one of them would have shot somebody in the line of duty, it would have went nationwide. Your media, Tom, these guys need some recognition, not only from us, but, when they sacrifice their lives in the line of duty, they should be recognized nationwide. And I'll go on. We got a lot going on here. We have funds, to help people with utilities, especially in the lower income brackets. We have, rental assistance programs. We have the best food pantry in the county. Things are picking up, but some people were still a little bit hesitant, due to the COVID to come in. We do ask you to wear a mask because we don't have no way of knowing whether you are vaccinated or not. If you need something, please come in and see us. Usually our food days are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 until about 1:30, and we try to do our social service on Monday and Wednesday. Friday we got limited hours till 1 o'clock, and that's kind of just to get everything together that we've done for the week. But if you feel like you have an emergency, come in and see us. We'll get the ball rolling. That's what we're here for. And on the other side of the coin, if you're doing well and you want to make some donations, from my pantry people side, they say we really need some paper towels and we need laundry soap. Now the laundry soap, if you could buy the big boxes that we could put in little bags, to give everybody enough to do 4 or 5 loads, that would be great. Any way you could help us.
Gary's always extending that invitation to send your money, Tom, or better yet, Joe Martone's money. What is that called? Fat chance?
Right, exactly.
And a little extra due to the inflation.
A little extra due to the inflation. Anyway, listen, a lot of good things are still happening here. Unfortunately, things got a little bit quiet because of the stimulus dollars rolling into a lot of people's pockets, and people put it to good use, paying bills and staying ahead. But obviously, a lot of that money has run out now, and folks are, hurting a little bit again. So we're seeing a much greater intake in terms of clients coming in. And a lot of these people, they're living close to the bone. They don't have much to begin with. The stimulus gave them a little relief, but now they're back to where they were, and we're glad to help. That's what our mission. Our mission is to help. Sometimes people forget that and lose track of why we're here. When I talk to politicians, our goal is to end the cycle, not let people fall to the bottom. And once somebody hits bottom, it's awful hard to get them out of there. And if you stop them from hitting the bottom, it's a lot easier, and you can prevent a lot of social service-related things that are happening, and maybe even some health-related issues, and certainly mental health issues, which we unfortunately are dealing a lot more with the last year or so than we used to see before. I've seen a tremendous uptick in mental health-related issues with veterans, particularly, not just PTSD, but depression, suicides, and other things. It's something we don't like to see, but we try to help out.
Yes, sir. We're here for you. We love to help you. Come on in. We'll see what we can do. Somebody asked me, Hank, at the window the other day. He was a new veteran coming in town, and he said, "Well, what can you people do?"
Mm-hmm.
And I pointed over across the way at Jeffrey's office and told him, here we have the Veteran Service Office, through those doors. If you come into our doors, almost anything that they're unable to do, we can do.
Thanks, guys. That's Hank and Gary from Vets Helping Vets. We'll be right back at this time out. WOCA, the source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, the source.
Some of the best disease-resistant and easy.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Vice President Kamala Harris will visit the United States-Mexico border while in El Paso, Texas on Friday. Harris, who President Biden put in charge of solving the self-induced crisis at the southern border, has faced accusations of ignoring the crisis. The White House on Wednesday replaced the regulator who oversees mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, hours after a Supreme Court ruling enabled President Biden to fire President Trump's appointee. The removal of libertarian economist Mark Calabria as Federal Housing Finance Agency director gives Biden more control over the industry. A historic and potentially deadly heat wave is focused on the Pacific Northwest this weekend into early next week, with record temperatures in cities like Portland, Oregon, and Spokane, Washington. Parents looking for childcare options will see much higher prices. Childcare costs have been growing twice as fast as inflation, according to the Center for American Progress. USA Radio News.
Does your business spend $500 a month or more on gas and electric bills? Did you know by making a simple free phone call, you can save up to 25% on your bill every month? What could you do with a 25% savings on utility bills every month? Energy deregulation is now available in your state. Making one simple phone call will show you how we can lower your gas and electric bills instantly.